Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the AI. I'm your host, the Data Doc, and in this video, we're going to talk about what is automation, what is AI automation, and what is AI agents. I think it's a very valuable video because the three terms get thrown around very loosely on the internet. And what I want to do is distinguish the three and then explain how they can be used to supplement each other. So the first thing I want to do is explain what an automation is. So this is very important to understand. And in business, this is how you scale. When you can automate a business, it becomes very easy to scale that business. And what makes automation important is that you're using technology to perform tasks that normally a human will be doing. So essentially, if you think about the things you do every day at work, if you are doing them repeatedly, and you can find a way to put the technology to do that instead of you doing it, that's automation. And so, how does that work? So, an AI automation is exactly what that means. You take the automation part and you add an AI to it. And what the AI is going to do is going to enhance the automation. So, right here, we have a picture of an automation that has AIs integrated inside of it. And traditionally, a normal automation would start with a trigger, which we have here, and it would be executed and where it would access a node. In this case, it's a Google Sheet. And in a traditional method, we will not have any modifications. So we would not have OpenAI doing anything to this data. And then it would get processed. And essentially, in this type of scenario, we would post on LinkedIn the same message every time. So in an automation, you're doing the same thing with the same type of end result. In an AI automation, we have the same thing, a trigger, which gets pushed to a Google Sheet. And in this Google Sheet, that trigger is sending the information from the Google Sheet to the OpenAI. And then the OpenAI could do multiple things. In this case, it reviews a column inside of the spreadsheet. And when it hits the word that it's mentioned, which is no, there's this posting or this information has not been made, it reads that and sends only that information to the next node. This node, which is another AI, will then read this information, manipulate it, and change it to a conventional post using terms of LinkedIn so that it can be to the LinkedIn audience. And then that information is sent to another node. This node gathers an image from the internet and then it edits it so that it fits the right format. And it downloads the image and then posts everything into LinkedIn and then updates our spreadsheet so that this can be executed the next day. So essentially, that's what an AI automation is, and that's how it improves a traditional automation. Now, moving to what an AI agent is compared to an automation is essentially an AI agent has the advanced ability to make decisions to use the best method. So, and it's also in real time. Okay. So now let's talk through this basic scenario. I have a video that's going to be posted here of this first AI agent. It's a very entry level AI agent. And what this AI agent does is it receives a trigger from Google email. So when an email comes in, it sends that email to an AI agent. The agent accesses OpenAI to read that message. Inside of this, it categorizes the email as far as low priority, medium priority, or high priority. And then it will send a respond to a low priority. It will send a custom respond to a medium priority. And it sends me a message on Slack if it's a high priority and I need to take action. So essentially, what this email agent is able to do is filter out 60% of my work life so that I'm not getting any of these emails. And it escalates any of those emails to me and sends me automatically the high priority emails. So again, let's talk through the comparison of automation and the agents. So essentially, we talked through what is the basic automation. We have one down here. It executes an activity without any type of AI systems. An AI agent, or excuse me, an AI automation executes a workflow, but it manipulates some of the data here to have a more custom output. It can only do that one activity, and it's not going to modify much. An agent can be trigger based, but it makes its own decisions of what to use. So in this case, it's using OpenAI. But here we have the ability to add extra tools such as Word, email, and other tools. And so then the agent can use these to make a decision of what to do. An agent can trigger a workflow to happen. So if there is a workflow that you have, you can mark the workflow as the trigger as one of the things the agent can do. So if there is a report that you need to do, you can mark the workflow as a trigger from the agent. So what we're going to do next is we're going to shift to make.com. Now I want to go to make.com and show you this. This is a workflow that I have created for this scenario. But what make.com is, it's really useful to a new person who's not used to using automation tools. It's very easy. It's very direct. It's drag and drop, and you can simply hit this plus for new nodes. But what it allows you to do is if we go to if we go to my dashboard and we open up my dashboard, we see that the pricing model right here, I have a free plan and I don't use it very much anymore, only because I've shifted to n8n and I like that platform a little bit better. But when I use this heavily, I never pass the 1,000 credits that they give you each month. So if you are a person who wants to promote things for yourself and you want to build things for yourself, make.com is very useful to doing that. It's going to be free. You're going to only have to pay for the extra nodes that you use. So what does that mean? So if we go to scenarios, a scenario is essentially a workflow that you have to do, an automation. And so what we can do is I have a financial statement workflow. I'm going to show you this one first. And what I did was I have a trigger. This trigger is triggered by dropping a document into my Google folder. When a new document is in that folder, this trigger will automatically start. And typically what this one does is I can drop a company into this, the financial statements of a company. I send the financial statements into this folder and it goes through this process. It's a lot of OpenAI, but the reason is the OpenAI works better when it's broken down into smaller parts. So this OpenAI breaks down one part of the financial statement. This one does a different part, and it keeps going all the way through until it submits me a report on the back end of that company. And the report essentially tells me how useful that company is. I can link this in the video in the description above. What we want to do is I want to shift to a different automation and show you some of the parts that become a little expensive. So where this can be a little expensive is we have the same type of action. We have a trigger. And what I did was I just downloaded some documents. I put it into a Google Sheets and it's sent in this document. And once it's in there, it creates a paragraph from that. That paragraph is then sent to another node to create a document. This document is sent to a company called 11 Labs. It's an AI voice generating platform, but this platform charges you. So although n8n is free, this platform has its limitations of which you have to pay to integrate into n8n, which they all do. And ChatGPT is the next one where you would also have to pay. It's pennies on the dollar, but for every token that you use, you are spending some type of money. So when people are saying this is free, it's not free, but it's very, it's far more, it's far more economical than any other method, and it gives you a lot of time back. And then this workflow would create a video that gets sent to SoundCloud, and it executes this every day whenever I have a new document in there. So now shifting over to n8n, I could do the same exact thing in n8n and create a workflow. But since we know we can do that in n8n, what I want to do is I want to go over AI agents and what we can do with them. So we went over this AI agent. So I'm just going to cover it really quick. This agent gets a trigger from an email. The email comes in, the agent reads it through OpenAI, prioritizes it, and sends me a Slack message letting me know that something's happened. What we can do is we can create a master agent. And I'm going to go through a weekly video in which I create this for everyone. So if you want this, stay tuned and I can send you this JSON file. Just let me know. But basically what this master agent does is it receives a trigger. That information that you send on Telegram is routed either through a voice message or through a text message so that the master agent can understand it. This master agent then decides where it needs to go. It does that by sending that message to OpenAI, and OpenAI comes back and tells the agent, to execute this, you need to use some of these agents down here. These agents down here are called tools. So they're tools that you can put in there. So if you can think of it, it's in here on a computer. A tool on here can be an email. It can be a Word document, a Google document, a Google Sheets. It can be many things. But basically, when it gets this message and I send a message saying, schedule a meeting with Mike, it's going to send that information, read it. It's going to access my contact agent. The contact agent is going to send that information to the email agent, email Mike my availability. Mike's going to decide a time, and then it's going to schedule it on my calendar, and then it's going to let me know that time that was created. One of the big challenges or the big benefits of this is that I can have multiple workflows here that I have made, much like this n8n, or excuse me, much like this make.com workflow. And I can tell the agent in n8n to access that workflow. So the way I would do that is by creating a trigger that is from another agent. So what that means is I'll save this. If I have a content creator agent, this agent is going to execute when it's triggered by the agent above it. So the agent we just came out of, I told it to create content on X, Y, and Z. That will tell it to access this agent, which will do some research on the internet, make it into a digestible method, and then send it to the above agent, which will then route it to where it needs to go. So workflows can be integrated into agents so that it can complete routine tasks, which in my opinion makes n8n a stronger tool. So if you like this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Each week I put out a video of building on top of each agent. So I've already created an email agent. So if you want that, I will put the JSON file in the school community below. And next week, I'm going to create a video for creating this master agent that we just seen. So next week, I'm going to be creating a video for the master agent and where you can control all your agents in one location. So if this is useful to you, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I'm the Data Doc. This is Inside the Algorithm. Thanks. Bye-bye.